In this video, I will provide a method we can use to justify causation. For the sake of brevity, I will ignore David Hume and other philosophers arguing against the idea of necessary causal connection. It is, of course, very difficult to move from a claim of correlation to causation. For example, people gathering at the bus station correlates with the bus arriving, but the people obviously don't cause the bus to arrive. Rather, there's something deeper, namely the bus schedule that's coordinating the activity of the people and the bus so as to produce the illusion of causation. To present another case of correlation not entailing causation, let's use our friend David Hume's famous example of the day and the night always correlating perfectly. Even though the day is always followed by the night, we wouldn't say that the day causes the night. Now that we know the distinction between correlation and causation, let's move to the method I would like to propose if we want to justify any causal claim. It's called the causal triad. The first criterion of the triad is precedence, stating that a cause comes before the effect. A must occur before B for A to be a candidate cause of B. An example of this would be boiling water on a stove. You turn the knob to high, a few minutes later, bubble starts to form. The heat is applied before the boiling starts. So A occurred before B. Second criterion of the triad is a mechanism, a way for A to produce B. So there must be a plausible process that connects A to B. Going back to our example of the stove, we could say that the burner transfers thermal energy or heat to the pot through conduction. As the water molecules absorb this energy, they move faster and faster until they reach 100 degrees or 212 Fahrenheit, at which point they turn from liquid to gas or steam. We have thus provided a mechanism indicating causation, a way for A to produce B. The third and final criterion of the triad is providing a counterfactual or an intervention test. If you remove A, B should stop, or at least be reduced in a way that the mechanism predicts. X is the cause of Y if and only if there is some possible intervention on X that would change Y. To exemplify, if you leave the pot on the counter, removing the heat source, the water will never boil. So removing A prevents B from happening, so the water stays cold. And that's the causal triad. In my opinion, a good method to use if we want to justify causation. But before ending the video, I would like to say a few words about two types of causation. Something can be a necessary or a sufficient cause. To have a fire, you need three things. You need oxygen, fuel, and heat. If you take away the oxygen, for example, the fire will stop burning. So oxygen is a necessary cause for fire, but isn't on its own sufficient. To cause fire, you also need fuel and heat. In other words, oxygen is necessary but not a sufficient cause of fire.